Oklahoma's Republican Governor Kevin Stitt signed a bill into law yesterday that would ban nearly all abortions except when the mother's life is in danger. The state is one of several that have passed laws severely restricting abortion rights ahead of a Supreme Court decision that is expected later this summer that critics say could potentially overturn Roe v. Wade. Let's bring in Caitlin Huey-Burns to discuss the political fallout and of these laws and measures. Question, Caitlin, in Oklahoma, is there any political fallout? I guess that's the first question. And what does Oklahoma's abortion law tell you about what might come with the Supreme Court decision?
Hey, good morning, Vlad. Well, Republicans control everything in Oklahoma, so this was not a surprise. However, there has been a flurry of activity around the country in state legislatures in anticipation of the Supreme Court potentially overruling or curbing back significantly abortion rights in this country. So on the Republican side and Republican state legislatures with Republican governors, you've seen them pass and sign into law abortion bans across the country. On the Democratic side, you've had Democratic governors trying to push forward measures to protect abortion rights in the event that Roe is overturned or curbed back significantly. A couple of states to keep an eye on here as we're looking at what Democratic governors are doing to protect abortion rights if this happens later this summer is in Colorado, for example. They passed a measure and it was signed by the Democratic governor to codify Roe v. Wade. So if it's overturned at the Supreme Court, the state law would say that it is still legal. In Michigan, there's a really interesting dynamic happening there where Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer is suing a bunch of county prosecutors in the event that Roe is overturned. That would kick it to the state Supreme Court. What's interesting about Michigan is that while it has a Democratic governor, it has a Republican state legislature. So there are legal ways that the governor is trying to get around this to try to protect abortion rights. And Michigan is one of about 26 states that are likely to have laws in place that would ban abortion in some form if Roe is overturned. Michigan, for example, would revert back to a law that was instituted in 1931 to ban abortions in the state. In Oklahoma, this law that just passed or just was signed into law yesterday would make abortion a criminal offense. So those are the stakes here, and that's how Republicans and Democrats are kind of girding for a Supreme Court decision that could come this summer.
So we're seeing these sort of laws pop up, across the country in various states, but, voters in those states elected these state lawmakers. I'm curious if voters are reacting to the emergence of these new, more restrictive laws.
Right, Anne-Marie, I went back and looked at our CBS News polling to kind of see what the temperature is among the electorate for overturning Roe. And a majority, 62%, say that they want to keep it in place. But of course, this is kind of driven down partisan lines. So Republicans are more likely to support overturning it. Democrats are more likely to support keeping it in place. But I have been curious about kind of what this means heading into a midterm election year where voters could register their concerns about this or their support for it. And in our CBS News polling, Democrats say that they're more likely to turn out and vote if Roe is overturned than Republicans are. Although a majority still say it won't affect their vote. But remember, this Supreme Court decision is likely to come down in this summer, which is going to be just a couple of months before the midterm elections, where not only control of Congress is at stake, but lots of state legislative seats, governors across the country, those are up for re-election too. And that's why this kind of thing is important to watch for those types of races.
Yep, timing is a major factor when it comes to these sort of hot button issues. Caitlin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We